The state parole board in the hot seat. Back in April, CBS 6 was the first to report the board had decided to release a man sentenced to life in prison for killing a Richmond police officer. And since that time, Crime Insider John Burkett has broken many major developments in this case. I'm Bill Fitzgerald.
I'm Candace Burns. Now John has learned that the parole board is again under the microscope of Virginia's official government watchdog agency. He joins us now. John?
Candace, a damning OSIG report was released more than a month ago revealing the state parole board had violated Virginia law in some of its own rules in the handling of the Vincent Martin case. It was then CBS 6 submitted 6 more Freedom of Information requests to see if it was an anomaly or signs of a troubling pattern. The flashing lights, the yellow tape, a city under siege. With shootings and killings making daily headlines in our area, some lawmakers want to know how a number of violent criminals convicted and locked up for lengthy prison terms have been allowed to walk free after serving just a portion of their sentences.
Murderers are being released. They're interacting with our communities when they were sentenced to life in prison.
It's an issue that came to light with the recent release of convicted cop killer Vincent Lamont Martin. A parole board led by former chair Adrian Bennett decided to cut short his life sentence after saying they conducted their own investigation and felt like he had served long enough, even though a year earlier the same board said he was unfit to rejoin society. As CBS 6 was first to report, that controversy surrounding that decision triggered an investigation by the state's official government watchdog agency. State Inspector General Michael Westfall, appointed by Governor Ralph Northam, initially concealed the majority of his findings from the public, releasing only a heavily redacted version of his report. That drew the ire of several state lawmakers who pushed for the entire thing to be released. When it was, we learned that Westfall found numerous flaws with the handling of the Martin case, in particular regarding the board's efforts to contact the victim's family. Westfall's conclusion: Bennett and the board violated state law. It was about the same time CBS 6 learned that the Inspector General was investigating at least 6 other parole board cases. We have asked for those reports, which Crime Insider sources say have been completed, but the Inspector General's office tells CBS 6 they need more time to fulfill our request.
Statute is very clear. The report goes to the governor, majority and minority party. This is about transparency. The Commonwealth, the citizens of Virginia, the victims have a right to know what is going on in the parole department.
Minority Leader of the House Todd Gilbert, in a letter to Westfall, says if the new reports have been provided to the governor, we are disappointed that once again the administration is being afforded the opportunity to preview derogatory information on the operation of a state agency. Secretary of Public Safety Brian Moran says in an email to CBS 6, "We are reviewing the allegations and we await the parole board's response. As you know, we have solved many of the notice issues and will continue to work with the new chair to address any other alleged deficiencies in the board's processes." Republican Senator Ryan McDougal sits on the Judiciary Committee. He says while the special session is still in play, lawmakers should debate the issues now.
If there is continually issues with the parole board, not following the law, not following the statutes, then there should be strong action taken. And it shouldn't be the members of the parole board that are asked, it should be the governor that should be making those decisions.
And speaking of that special session, Candace and Bill, the lawmakers have passed 2 bills or proposed 2 bills that would have forced the parole board to be more transparent. Recently, it passed the state Senate with a bipartisan vote and bipartisan support, but both were killed by the House Courts of Justice Committee. Working for you in Richmond, John Burkett, CBS 6 News.